saw, like, as you do, you've got to like keep rebuilding on how you're going to start your business. Where am I going to start first? Right. So I need like all, like, I thought, is there any support out there? So for like new businesses, and I saw that my council was doing like startup grants. So I had my own business mentor for my startup grant, and I was like granted like a startup fund. So that really set me up for all my like equipment, everything like that. Yeah. Okay.
Hi guys, it's Holly here at Viso and welcome back to the Viso podcast. Today I'm with the gorgeous Sophie, who is the CEO of Viso Aesthetics. Sophie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's really good to have you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. So let's just kick things off by talking about you and your business then. So do you want to just give us some insight into how you got into the industry and how you built your business to where it is today?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I was actually on a beauty and cosmetics counter as a manager for 5 years. So for 5 years, I absolutely loved my job. I loved everything about being a manager. I loved doing all the account side, looking out how we could make the business grow, targets, all that type of stuff really. And then I decided I wanted like a full like change with me personally. I wanted to start a family, so I did. And then lockdown happened, and because I'd had like started my family, I had a few medical issues, so I thought, well, I can't really go back to work because it's not going to sit well, basically. So I thought, what can I do? How can I change my life, like what I'm doing? Because I'm going to be like a new mom, and I wanted to really challenge myself. I love challenging myself with new things, really. So I looked at it was when I was like on social media, because I know we were in lockdown and you're like scrolling through social media.
Oh God, yeah.
God. So I was like looking through social media, and I thought, oh, pathway to aesthetics, what's all that about? So I did like all my research and everything, really found like a reputable like trainer. And I travelled to Nottingham through my training. And as soon as I got there, weirdly enough, I had, and I hate having blood tests done.
Yeah.
And like it's overcome my fear.
Amazing.
But I remember when I got there, I thought, oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
Yeah. You're
I thought,
thinking,
no, I really want to do this. I'm really interested because I love all the field like about like beauty and aesthetics, and even like managing my own business, because you're in control, and you're like your own drive to success, basically. So I thought, no, yeah, we're there, we're doing it. Loved every moment of it, and I thought, right, okay. So then I saw, like, as you do, you've got to like keep rebuilding on how you're going to start your business. Where am I going to start first? Right. So I need like all, like, I thought, is there any support out there? So for like new businesses, and I saw that my council was doing like startup grants. So I had my own business mentor for my startup grant, and I was like granted like a startup fund. So that really set me up for all my like equipment, everything like that. Yeah. And and then I just thought, right, let's look at locations. And I thought, right, well, sir, I've got a spare room at my home. I thought that would work great for clients coming to my home. So this is my home clinic.
yeah.
So I love it. And people absolutely love it when they come.
Yeah.
And then I'm also at another location as well, and I rent a room at that location. So from that location, I then built my client base there. So I get clients there, whatever convenient for people, they can have them there, or I can then transfer them to here if they want more discreet and exclusivity here. So that's worked really well for me. And yeah, so that's how I started.
Oh, amazing. No, thank you so much for that. I think it just sounds like it's kind of been something that's always been you've been destined to do. You know, you've always loved the beauty side, you know, running your own business, target, keep being in control. So it literally just sounds like it's all fallen into place for you, which is like incredible.
Yeah,
nice news.
But the scary thing was starting that business is going from a full-time wage, and I knew that that's the choice I had to make because it was what was suited me personally and like my family. And I thought, well, then I'm in control of it, so you have to make it work. And if you love what you do find that way. And so I just made. I've gone from that full-time wage to then, seeing in that first year that boom at the beginning, and then it drop, and then the economy, or with the economy, and I thought, no, come on, we can do this. Let's just roll with the punches. And also the good thing about the other location that I'm at, you could see that it was having a knock-on effect on them. So you think, well, it's not just me. So even having that reach out to other people and try not keep yourself in a bubble as much as it can be comfortable. It is about connecting elsewhere, people in who in like the industry yourself, like what are they finding like successful, what are they finding like their challenges. And sometimes that can just give you reassurance, like, no, it's normal what's happening, or so you've got it's easy to be disheartened when things can drop, but it's literally, you've just got to stick with it.
100%. I agree. I think you're so right. I think particularly in this industry, it can be a very lonely place for practitioners. It can, particularly when you're like, you've done your training and then you just kind of like left to just start your business. And particularly when I feel like a lot of the time I speak to practitioners and they'll be like, oh, my family don't really understand it, they don't really get it. Sometimes it could be quite hard to get the support from people close to you around this industry as well. And so my advice, like you just said, to any practitioners would be make connections within the industry, talk to people. Obviously there's a lot of stuff online which can be like very bitchy and very negative, but also you find those sort of groups where it's really just, guys, I just need a bit of help with this, need a bit of advice.
Definitely agree with that, with the groups. Even with like things that exactly how you said, like things that you might be unsure of a certain type of client, getting that feedback from others. And I was going to go somewhere with what I was about to say about my mind's running faster than my mouth.
Don't worry. Right, let's talk about treatments then. So do you find that there's a specific treatment that you are like best at, that's kind of your niche? What are your clients kind of, what do they come to you for?
So my clients are all my demographic of clients are from about 30s to 68. So I see those clients, and I'm usually, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I'm usually right because when you get to about 30, you start seeing that aging process. And then so they start off with like the most milder aesthetic treatments. So things like your microneedling, those are like quite more stock, but they can be quite invasive because you do have like that red face afterwards. But it's like reassuring. You've got to reassure them all the way. You've got to trust the process, because you show the mirror afterwards and like, oh, my face is red, and I'm like, and they expect to come away real like glowing. No, trust the process. You'll see your skin looking amazing in a few days, well, weeks. But so I would say they start off with like the microneedling, going into like the skin boosters, Botox. So it's very much of like enriching their current like beauty, like their natural beauty, what they have. And I do see like the trends being all about, well, skincare. We've gone from full face makeup to then looking at more skincare, and people want that nice glass skin, glowy skin, even skin tone, texture. So it is things like your dermaplane, your microneedling, your skin boosters, and Botox. I think it's always going to be a classic one that takes many years off in 10 days. But so I'm always looking at the types of ingredients with skin boosters, how they help to, not so much if it's on request. So if I listen to my client and they say, right, I just want like a nice glowy skin, yeah, then we're going to go with a hydrating like skin booster. But if someone's coming to me and they're saying, oh, I've got like pigmentation, my face just looks really dull and like lackluster basically, so then I want to go into more like bioremodeling or biostimulating, and I'm now looking into polynucleotides because they're now the up and coming thing. And I really like the look of them because they are to do with repairing the cells and like new growth of cells, which is all what we like in our skin, especially after the summer when you've caused so much like skin damage. You do see a lot more pigmentation marks from sun exposure. So from, I would say, and also depends on the season as well. I would say like the types of treatment.
It's great that you have that kind of interest and that knowledge, and you're looking at different pathways for different clients, because I think not only does it make the treatment and the experience a lot more tailored to that specific person, but it also really showcases like your knowledge as a practitioner, that there's no one size fits all. It's not like, okay, this is the skin booster I use for my clients, and no matter what age or no matter what you're going to have that product. It's very much looking at their individual requirements. And I think as a client, that's so important, because they don't care about your other clients, they care about
how they exactly. And another thing I tend to do as well, if I'm looking at a new product, I tend to try it on myself. And the reason why I'm so passionate about that is because I'm always combating with my skin, because I have problematic skin. So I have pigmentation, I do have acne. So I think, right, I'm having a good skin day today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, your skin looks gorgeous, to be honest.
No, I microneedled. It nips it. I always say to my clients, a microneedle, it just nips it in the body if you're having a little bit of like a under skin spot breakout. So off track again, sorry. So I tend to try it on myself, and if I see a good enough result, then I'll use that product, because of based on, it's not cheap. Like products are like, to have a treatment, it's not cheap. And I think, right, is that person getting the result they want? And also from a business standpoint, you also need to make a profit as well.
Of course.
So is it working both ways? Right, are my like margins right, my price point right for the treatment that I'm offering, and is that person going to see results with this product? And is it like a good ingredients? So I tend to try them on myself before I then use them on my clients. And that, I think that's, so it's like, I know, I'm like my own guinea pig, but it's sometimes I just feel that that's worked.
Exactly.
I've got to understand it.
100%.
Like and the process. So it's like also like the protocols with the products. How do I inject this? Like, how am I going to get the maximum effects from this? How is that going to work for that client? What's the aftercare? What was the stages of what I noticed? I had maybe, I don't know, a little, I found with more, well, the current skin booster I use, it's more of like a honey type consistency. So you do get like these like bumps, like little bee stings. So after you've done it.
What do you use out of interest?
Neofound. Absolutely love it. Absolutely.
I've never had that done, but I've heard incredible things. Sorry to interrupt.
On my profile, I'm really, because the and it's also made in Italy, so
Il Viso. Oh yeah, you've not mentioned to everyone why your clinic's called Il Viso.
I'll need to do the intro again because it was just awful. But but yeah, so Neofound, I use Neofound, and they brought a new one out as well, which is Neofound Whitening. So I did somebody who had a lot of like melasma. Well, I was more concerned about this age spot on the side of her face, and then I've just like captured that immediately after, from before and media after, how that's significantly reduced in like turn, and yeah, so that's what I use, and I always, it hasn't failed me yet. And you get good, you can actually treat your neck as well, your chest, your hands, so yeah, it works really well for me, that.
Anyone out there looking for a new skin booster, Sophie Neo found, order it on Faces. So just moving on to the Faces app then, Sophie, obviously you've used Faces for quite some time now. Do you want to just talk a bit about how it's helped your business and what features you love about Faces?
So I've actually used Faces since from day one of starting my business, and that's not a lie, right? So because, and how I found out about it was, I went to my training, but my training was in Nottingham, so, and I live probably about 2 hours from Nottingham, so I don't have like that access to the prescribers that she could put me in touch with.
Yeah.
So she then said to me, oh, there's this app called Faces, and it's all, so very simple, but it put me in the right direction. And so I thought, right, log on to it, download, had a little look, and I thought, right, okay, this is fantastic. I had a look at more of the features, because then I was dwindling away on my laptop. How do I even write a consent form?
Yeah.
Like, or like disclaimer, like where would you start with the legality of it?
Yeah.
And like, you know, what do I need to include in it? And literally Faces has all of that for so many different treatments, and you can also attach your before and afters, which what I love. So you have like a client file,
yeah,
for that, your specific client, and you can go back in and out when you want, and then that client file then gets sent to them personally, so they can look at if their medical history has changed, and then that if they need to notify me of that next time, which I'll always ask anyway before the treatment in case they forget. But they can also see their befores and afters themselves rather than me all holding it, so they get that sharing process of their journey. So if they've been coming to me for like 1 year, they can see, like, for all like their forms with me, right, your first ever treatment with me, you're before, so then you're now, and like some of the results are just amazing.
And the thing is, they won't notice that from like just looking in the mirror. So actually being able to like show them like that comparison, and that is just really like amazing for you as a practitioner, but also like for them as well, to be like, oh my god, like this is such a journey, and Sophie's like, help me with this, like that's just a great way to show them.
Definitely. And also when after you've had a treatment, you are telling them like that their aftercare. But if they've had something like the lip storm and someone's really nervous and they're like, oh yeah, like it can like might sometimes just go over someone's head. It does me. Like if I've had like something that's just, do you know when something just puts you out your comfort zone and you're not concentrated, and you're kind of like concentrating on like getting out of the place, or not saying I'm like a bad place or anything, but like you kind of can't remember everything that somebody said. So with the forms, you can that client can go and look at their, well, what was my aftercare again? So they've got that copy then. And not only that, the booking system. Oh, love it. There's so many things I love about
it. Have you been using your link for your clients to get booked in?
Oh no, I don't know about this link.
Right, I'm going to show you now. Get your Faces up. Can you open your Faces app?
Yeah.
Okay, go to, so the calendar now is obviously the kind of hub of your Faces app. So if you click on the calendar, and go to the share icon in the top right hand corner.
Is that thing with the little arrow pointing up?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
And you'll see a link there, so you can post that on your social media, and this is for anyone else who's watching who didn't know that either. You can post that on your social media. Your clients can self-book. All you need to do is make sure that on each day that you're running a clinic, your opening and closing times are all correct and your locations are correct. You can do that just by clicking on the days that you want to work. Just make sure that the opening and closing times are correct. You do also need to make sure that your My Treatments are all set up correctly as well through the settings. That means that you know, they can, all the pricing, the deposit, the consent form is all correct on your My Treatments. And we've got a new AI feature on there now, so you don't have to type out all your descriptions. You can use the AI feature to generate a description for you.
God,
So, exactly, and you can take deposit as well. Have you been taking deposits through Faces?
No, I haven't, but that is my next to do, my to-do list.
I'm gonna call you at some point and we're gonna go through it together.
No, we have to do it. Because when I was starting, I was doing my deposits because they're all like new clients, but then because I've had my current location, it's now given me access to another bunch of new clients. So you don't know, like, I always think it's best when new clients take deposits, and but even for all like your things where you have upfront costs like your skin boosters, your Botox and your derma fillers, definitely I always take a deposit like that. But it also stops by having that deposit feature on the Faces app. I think it stops that awkward process
of like, can you transfer me some money?
Definitely.
It's just, here's a deposit link, pay deposit, it'll show up on their booking that they've paid the deposit. So when someone uses the booking link, they can choose their treatment, the location, they can pay their deposit. Then they'll get sent automatically the consent and medical form and aftercare. So you don't even have to send it to them. They get it sent automatically, and it will then show up in your calendar as well. So they can do all of that without you even needing to do anything.
Yeah. Oh God, that's amazing. That is amazing. Right. It makes it so much easier. It's so much easier because it has everything, like that Faces portal has all like the fundamentals you need for like your aesthetic business. That's why I love it, because it's got your consent forms, it's got your booking calendar, it's got access to like your pharmacy shop, your prescribers, and you know it's all reputable, it's all safe, it's all secure. That's another thing. With having everything all electronic and all in one place, you can, with Faces, you can pop the password on, so you've got that client confidentiality, and it's, you're not having all this endless bits of paperwork. That's how it's helped me, definitely. Yeah
100%. Amazing. That's so great. Lovely. So got 3 minutes left just to finish off. Let's talk about regulation then. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen, nothing is set in stone, but we do know that the announcements have been released for the traffic light system, and the government are asking for everybody to give their own personal views on the regulation in the industry. Where do you stand with this? What are your personal views?
I think there should be some form of regulations. Maybe it's very hard because it's so hard to find a common ground with everybody. Now, the way I feel towards it, there's very much a divide between medics and non-medics. I would personally feel that we're as unison, and to be judged on the level of qualification in regards to the type of treatments we are offering. So like in bands, really. Do you know how you would have on the NHS? It always tends to go up in bands. And then specific treatments. Like I've personally stayed away from more of like the invasive treatments, but that's my choice. Like things like the thread lifts, because I feel that is really out of my comfort. So I feel as though that is a little bit beyond for me personally. But again, it all varies because it can go on like person's experience. You can have somebody who's been practicing aesthetics for 15 years and they have developed so much knowledge, so much experience, but then you can have like a nurse who's like in midwifery and they've just qualified, which is a totally different field, although they are getting a little bit more of a, I don't want to say leverage because that's not right, but you know, I just think there's a little bit more stigma around being classed as a non-medic. And I think we should all be brought together. We're all doing the same thing. We all have the same like fundamentals, core, like I would say education in like a specific band and like categories, and you work up to be able to perform specific treatments. That's my view on that, really.
No, I do agree with you as well in terms of, you know, medic and non-medic. It's so black and white. You know, it should be good and bad practice, really. This is what good practice is, this is what bad practice is. you know, as long as you've got your insurance, as long as you've done the necessary qualifications, doesn't matter where you're from. But we'll have to see, you know, we'll catch up when the regulations come in, and see where we are. But Sophie, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. I've absolutely loved speaking with you.
All right,
really
okay.
good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Bye.